Alright, so we're doing this. Nobody knows who I am, and that's okay. I don't really care. I am only just making this video because of all of the recent discord, I guess you could say, in, places like Minnesota, Utah, where I'm from, and so many other places. Like, riots are breaking out everywhere. And I can understand the reason why they started. I definitely get it. Like, there are some injustices in this world that we can't ignore, and we definitely need to step up and have a bigger voice and be able to say, like, this is wrong. Why is this happening? Like, you should be able to see a police officer, and if you're lost, you should be able to go up to them and say, hey, I'm lost, I need your help. But it's coming to a point where, like, if you see a police officer, you turn the other way, because you don't know what that police officer is going to do. You don't know if they're going to be completely just, they should be someone we turn to because we know that we can trust them, because they can protect us. But it's turning into the opposite. It's turning into something where they're these scary, men in uniform who have guns. And like, I absolutely believe in our Second Amendment right to bear arms. I'm not ever going to constitute that. I do, however, think it's a little bit too easy to, like, go into a superstore, wait for a couple hours, and then you can walk out with a gun. Like, that's, I have an opinion on it, just like everybody else, and I'm sure my opinion is controversial, just like this video in its entirety might be controversial, but I don't care, because people need to speak up about these things. First of all, I think we need to address the fact that this was not handled the way that it should have been handled. Like, very obviously, there are people who should be in jail right now who are not, and that frustrates me beyond belief. And then there's the fact that people are going out and in protest, they're destroying people's businesses, people's livelihood. Like, we're just getting over a fucking pandemic, and you think that it's okay to go and break somebody's window, probably when they're just now starting to open up again? Like, are you kidding me? Like, come on, honey. Like, I work with toddlers. I know a toddler when I see one, and that is toddler behavior. Like, go take a nap because we don't want you, like, anywhere near us. Like, no, that's not okay. That's not okay. Okay, I'm calming down. Back to the matter at hand. The riots. I understand protesting. I definitely believe that these protests are valid. I believe that there should be people out there taking action, taking, a stand, having a voice, and being like, this isn't right. I understand that. I understand that more than most. I'm in the LGBTQ community. Like, I'm bisexual, and I've gotten a lot of hate in my life for it. And you know what? Like, fuck those people. Like, I don't care about those people. I absolutely cannot understand what it's like to be a person of color in this day and age. Like, I don't even want to try and I do want to understand. I want to understand what it's like to be in that situation and to just, like, walk into a room and automatically feel a shift. Like, that sucks. But the thing is it confuses me. It really, truly, like, I am baffled. I'm completely baffled by the idea of people not liking people because of the color of their skin, and, like, that's it. Like, just like, oh, well, you're black, so I don't like you. You're Hispanic, I don't like you. You're Asian, I don't like you. You're white, I don't like you. And you know what? I don't like white people. White people suck. I know that for a fact. I grew up in a white family. I was surrounded by white neighbors. Like, I know that white people suck. Like, do not get me wrong. I get it. But there are still good people in the world, and I think the reason that it confuses me that this is still a thing is because, like, it's 2020, like, obviously 2020 is not killing it so far. Like, well, that's probably not the right terminology, because absolutely people are dying right now. Like, people are dying from this coronavirus. Hush, puppies! Hush! Hush, puppies! You're fine. I know that, anyways, where was I? Confusion. So I'm confused. I am confused why people still feel the need to be racist. Like, that confuses me. We should be in a time where we understand that we're all human beings. Like, Why can't we just treat each other like that? Like, oh, you're a human being. I'm going to acknowledge you as being another human being, as I am also a human being. Like, why can't that be how we interact with each other? Why does it have to be, oh, you're black, so, like, I'm afraid of you. Oh, you're Hispanic, so, like, I don't like you. Oh, you're Asian, so blah, 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 blah. Like, why does it have to be, like, I understand stereotypes are there for a reason. Like, there are people who definitely give credence to some stereotypes. Like, prime example, I absolutely adore my family. I love my family to pieces, but my family is, what's the PC term for this? White trash. Okay, so my family's white trash, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, I grew up with, you know, with these people. Like, I love them. They're great people. They really are. But that does not take away the fact that some of them, you know, like they when they go to another country, like, the people in the other country who don't like Americans, they're just like, that's why I don't like Americans. Like, and I've gotten shit before. I've gotten shit because I've literally said, you know, America sucks. Like, I don't like America, and I have been told, like, you know, why don't you leave? And I'm just like, honey, if I could leave, you don't think I would be gone? I would be gone so fast. Yes, hi, baby. I would be gone so fast that you wouldn't even see, like, no. Like, don't even say that to me. Like, I am in so much debt right now. Like, if I could leave, I would leave. I would be gone. I would not live here. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And I'm not going to get into that because that's not what this is about. This is about the people who have died as of late, recently, being basically murdered in cold blood by a man with a badge. And I absolutely don't want to say anything against, you know, police officers in general. I know that not all police officers are awful, like, you know, like, obviously there's going to be good and bad in every, like, sense of, like, there's going to be good doctors, there's going to be bad doctors. I worked with doctors before. I worked with surgeons. Surgeons suck. Also a whole other topic. But anyways, the thing is that, you know, people, like, as a people, like, as a whole, as everybody, you know, we just all need to band together and really realize, like, we need to check ourselves. We need to take our prejudice and leave it at the door, because nobody wants you, honey. Like, we don't need your bullshit. Like, you're irrelevant right now. Like, with all of this other shit going on with COVID and all of that, and all the people that are dying from that, and we're still, like, fighting the fight on race, like, and also, like, okay, peace, tranquility, waterfalls, puppies, we're okay, I'm fine. The thing is that we all just need to really get it together. We need to get it together as a people. We need to come together and realize that we are all human beings. And that's okay. Human beings make mistakes. Human beings do bad things. But human beings have also been known to create wonderful and beautiful things. Like, we wouldn't have electricity if it weren't for human beings. We wouldn't have coffee. I know some of you are coffee fanatics. We wouldn't have coffee if it weren't for human beings. Like, we wouldn't have clothes if it weren't for human beings. Like, we are here for a reason, and that reason is not to hate each other. Like, I don't care what religion you are in, I don't care what you believe in. The bottom line, you should at least believe in humanity. You should at least believe that there's something worth saving here. And if we keep going the way that we're going, that's not going to be the case anymore. We're not going to be worth it anymore. And if there are aliens out there, which there are, that's a whole other thing as well. But there are, for sure. They've definitely come by and, like, seen us and been like, no. We're gonna go back to our place because this place sucks. And they're doing a good enough job destroying themselves. So, I don't know. Like, we need to get to the point where that's not a thing. Like, we need to be worth taking over. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's the wrong way to put it, but, like, let's put it that way. Let's have a little scenario. Like, if we were a society where race wasn't a thing, where sexual orientation wasn't a thing, where, and when I say not a thing, I mean like they exist for sure, but nobody actually sees that. They just see the person beneath the labels, beneath the surface, because we all have something going on beneath. We all have something more to give. So why is it so hard to see that? So you can see that this is mostly just me being confused, and I've been thinking about making a video for YouTube for a while, and obviously, like, my resolution isn't great. Like, if I want to keep doing this, I'm getting a better camera, like, all of that, you know, the whole 9 yards, but like, this, I basically just, I felt like I needed to say something, because I don't know if anybody else is saying something. I don't know if anybody else is speaking up. Like, I don't watch the news anymore because it depresses me. Like, it literally ruins my day. I used to watch the news every day for 3 years. I lived with my grandparents and they love watching the news. I hate watching the news with like a fucking passion. I hate watching the news. The news just depresses me. There's always something sad, someone who died in a tragic way, someone who's, you know, like, fighting a war that's not even their own war. Like, it makes me sad. It really, truly makes me so sad. But, yeah, so, like, that's the reason why I wanted to do this, is because right now I'm just confused. I'm confused and a little bit disappointed. I'm pretty disappointed because I absolutely believe in, you know, stepping up and having a voice for those who can't anymore because they're not here, unfortunately, and it breaks my whole entire heart knowing that these kids were murdered. And I mean, like, I know, like, there were a few people who died and they weren't all really young, but like, it's still incredibly tragic. It doesn't matter how old they were, it matters the circumstances in which they died, and that was probably scared and alone and surrounded by people who didn't like them because they were black. And that's just not fair. It's not fair. Like, they can't help that. They probably wouldn't want to. Like, black people are bomb. Like, have you seen a sister, like, rocking, like, her whole entire outfit is put together, her makeup's put together, her jewelry's put together, like, she just looks like a goddess, and you just want to worship her. Like, people of color are amazing. People of color are why we have blues, are why we have, I don't even know. I need to look this up. I need to get some perspective, because I need to get perspective too. Like, obviously, like, I'm not a know-it-all. Like, I don't know everything. I don't watch the news. Like, obviously, like, I don't know everything that's going on, except for the fact that Salt Lake City is on, like, lockdown right now because people are going out and destroying things, which, in my opinion, is just like toddlers throwing tantrums. Like, get it together, honey. Like, we don't have time for your bullshit. Alright, let's look this up. Things invented by people of color. Alright, 8 black inventors who made daily life easier. And then there's ads. Ooh, these are really cool. Refrigerated trucks! Are you kidding me? Refrigerated trucks were invented by Frederick McKinley Jones in 1940. If your refrigerator has any produce from your local grocery store, then you can credit African-American inventor Frederick McKinley Jones. Jones took out more than 60 patents throughout his life, including a patent for the roof-mounted cooling system that's used to refrigerate goods on trucks during extended transportation in the mid-1930s. He received a patent for his invention in 1940 and co-funded the U.S. thermal control company later known as Thermo King. The company was critical during World War II, helping to preserve blood, food, and supplies during this war. So, like, wow. Automatic elevator doors, invented by Alexander Miles in 1887. 1887, that was a long ass time ago. The use of elevators in everyday life keeps people from committing to long and grueling climbs up several flights of stairs. Let's be real, we could probably use more stairs. It's America, like, we already know this. We're fat, it's fine, it's fine. Anyways, before automatic doors, people had to manually shut both the shaft and elevator doors before riding. Yeah, so you've probably seen in movies, like, where they had to, like, shut the shaft and, like, take the little thing down, and there was, like, a doorman with a bellhop. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, he made this really a lot easier for a lot of people. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to say it, so I'm not gonna, like... Carbon light bulb filament, invented by Louis Latimer in 1881. The light bulb itself was invented by Thomas Edison, who was white. We already know that, and, like... But the innovation used to create longer lasting light bulbs with a carbon filament came from African American inventor Louis Latimer. And nobody's ever heard that name. Like, I doubt very seriously many of you have heard that name. Louis Latimer? Anybody? Anybody? Hush. I need to turn the sound off my phone because it's loud. But, like, this guy literally helped in, like, longer lasting light bulbs that are more effective for the environment. Like, how cool is that? And nobody's heard about him because, of course, Thomas Edison was the one who invented the light bulb. And that was great. That was great. If he hadn't have made that invention, Louis Latimer wouldn't have been able to revamp it, basically. But he did. He's the one that was able to make a longer lasting light bulb, and here we are today. Home security system, co-invented by Mary Van Britten Brown in 1966. Before security systems became a fixture in homes, an African-American nurse, Mary Van Britten Brown, devised an early security unit for her own home. She spent many nights at home alone in Queens, New York. That's not the safest place. While her husband was away and felt unsafe with high rates of crime in her neighborhood. On top of that, police were unreliable and unresponsive. That's some bullshit, but like, obviously, like, that's what this whole video is about, but, like, that right there. Like, this woman invented a home security system to feel safer because her own police department did not make her feel safe. So, like, can we please give this woman a round of applause? Here's to Mary Van Britten Brown. Thank you, Mary Van Britten Brown. You have saved so many lives. You've done so much for this world, just like all of these people. I mean, the 3-light traffic light was invented by Garrett Morgan in 1923 with only an elementary school education. Oh my goodness, a black inventor and son of a slave, Garrett Morgan came up with several significant inventions, including an improved sewing machine and the gas mask. However, one of Morgan's most influential inventions was the improved traffic light. Without his innovation, drivers across the nation would be directed by a 2-light system. So, like, this man who grew up in probably the worst time in the world, like, his father was a slave. That's, like, a whole other, like, point of contention with me. And, like, black history, like, the fact that I have ancestors who probably owned slaves, like, do you know how much that hurts my heart? Like, I'm a very soft person. I do not like the thought of people being forced to do things like that. Like, I can never even begin to imagine what it was like for people in that time who were being sold like they were pieces of property, which is essentially what they were. And that's just some bullshit. I don't know, like, how you feel about that, but that's some bullshit, if you ask me. So, like, yeah, I'm, like, crying just a little bit. Like, this is all, like, this is a very emotional thing for me. Like, my sister, who I love very dearly, she's getting married, and she's marrying a black man, and he's one of the coolest guys I've ever met, and his whole family is amazing. Like, my new brothers-in-law, brothers-in-law, they are all amazing, and I witnessed firsthand one of them being completely just disrespected and almost like attacked in a way, because we were all sitting in my car, we had been pulled over. I didn't do anything wrong. This cop, because I was driving, and I will be the first one to admit that I am not the best driver in the world. Yeah, like, this pretty face, like, has gotten me out of a few tickets. And, like, that's fine. I've never been accused of being a good driver. I would never accuse myself of being a good driver. Like, why lie? Like, I drive like a bat out of hell. It's fine. But, like, in this instance, I was going through a tiny little town, and I didn't know what the speed limit was, so I was literally going 25 through this town, and I got lost because I haven't been there in a very long time. I've never driven there, you know, by myself, and my phone, like, it didn't have service in that area, so, like, I had my GPS on the screen, but I still ended up missing my turn, mostly because this cop pulled up behind me, and that freaked me out, and so I was focusing mostly on the fact that there was a cop. So, like, that right there should tell you something. Like, the fact that I immediately was, like, my whole entire body was tensed because a police officer pulled behind me, like, that should not be how it is, ma'am. Like, come on, come on. Like, I was terrified, and I ended up turning, and the cop followed me, and then I turned again. Well, he actually turned before me, and then I turned up here. So, like, okay, so here we are, we're going, and then he turns, and then I keep going, and then I turn up here. And then he must have turned up here somehow, because we met at a corner right here at a four-way stop sign, and I went past him, and immediately he gets behind me, and whoop whoop, his lights go on, and I get pulled over, and I'm sitting there, like, freaking out already, because I was like, okay, first of all, I know I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I've had a lot of cops, like, look down their noses at me, and I don't appreciate that. Like, if I've already done something wrong, you can see I'm scared, you can see that I'm contrite, that I don't, you know, like, don't be a dick. Like, come on, like, we all make mistakes, and granted, like, I make mistakes more than most. I'm a little bit impatient, but, like, hey, my parents have a lead foot too, and it's their fault. Okay, like, I can't really blame it all on them, but, like, you know, you learn from your environment. Like, that's, I work with little kids. Like, I know how we learn things. And I learned that sometimes having a lead foot gets you where you're going a little bit faster. So, but I wasn't speeding. I wasn't doing anything. The only thing I was doing was being confused and lost. Like, that was my only crime. But I think the thing that pissed me off the most about this whole situation was that this police officer had to sit there and think for a couple of seconds why he pulled me over. Because I asked him very politely, I'm sorry, officer, I'm not sure what I was doing. Can you please tell me why you pulled me over? And he was silent for a good minute or two, just looking around, trying to figure out why he pulled me over. And he came up with, well, I couldn't find your license plate on my system. And, oh, also, you have a lanyard hanging from your mirror, and that's an obstruction of your view. Hush, puppy, hush. Hush! Maggie, you hush. Don't you smile at me. You hush. Maggie! Go outside if you're gonna bark. Go outside. Excuse me. Go outside. Go. Do you not want to go outside? Hush. That's a little bit too much for you. I don't know what you want. Okay, I'm back. Anyways, so finally he decided, oh, well, you've got a lanyard hanging from your mirror, and then it's an obstruction of your view. And I mean, like, I was cooperative. I immediately, like, took the lanyard down. I apologized. I explained the situation. I was like, I'm just trying to get back to my grandparents' house. We're taking these back roads. Like, I don't really ever take these roads without them, so I'm just trying to, like, figure out how to get back on the highway that I'm supposed to get on. And it was Kiowa Bennett. Like, it was in the middle of nowhere. I doubt anybody knows where this is, except for obviously, like, the people that are going to see this that know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyways, like, I was sitting there, like, and I was shaking because I had reached back. My bag was in the back seat with my brother-in-law and his boyfriend, and I had reached back to get it when the cop was coming up so I could get my ID out of it, and then I put it back there. And apparently that was suspicious, and he was like, you were moving bags around and looking suspicious, and I was like, I was trying to get my ID, like, my bag was in the back seat so that it wasn't, like, obstructing my foot space back here, like, I'm sorry, like, I kind of figured you would need this, so that's why I got it, and I don't know, he just started, like, talking shit to my brother-in-law, who's black, and he just, like, he hadn't been saying anything to this cop. He was talking to me, he was like, just calm down, honey. Maggie, no, don't. Anyways, I swear, Maggie, I'm going to lift up that couch and take you back outside. Maggie? Okay. Yeah, anyways, this cop, like, my brother-in-law, Mikey. Maggie! Maggie, honey, come here. Come here, Maggie. 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 Come here, Maggie. Come here, Maggie. Okay, Charlie, yes, I see you. You exist, I know. Okay, so, like, the wind is blowing really, really a lot right now, and it's scaring Maggie. She's a little puppy, and so she's barking at the wind because she's afraid that it's a big monster, so just ignore her barking. She will stop eventually, or maybe not. Maybe this is just going to be a video of Maggie barking. Like, it's fine. But yeah, no, he was just telling me, you know, just get your stuff out, just calm down, because I have a panic disorder, and I was absolutely starting to panic, and he could tell. And he was just trying to talk me through it, you know, like, get your ID, get your insurance, get everything out, you know, just the normal. And this cop looks back at him and he's like, you giving me lip, boy? And I was like, first of all, do not boy my brother-in-law. Like, he is no boy. Like, that's some bullshit. Second of all, he was talking to me, trying to keep me calm. And not only that, but as he was going to the window in the back where my brother-in-law was sitting with his boyfriend, his hand went for his gun. Like, what kind of fucking bullshit is that? That's when I started really panicking. Like, I was crying, I could not breathe. Like, I legit felt like I was having a panic attack. If you know what having a panic attack feels like, you know what I'm talking about. It literally felt like I had an elephant sitting on my chest because I couldn't breathe. That's what it felt like. And I was crying, and I was trying to breathe, and this cop looks at me and was like, do you guys have anything in your car that you shouldn't? And I was like, no, officer, you're scaring me. And of course, at that point, he backed off, and he was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go to my car. And he went to his car. 5 seconds later, he comes up, and he was like, oh, so you're lost? Let me give you directions. You go this way and this way. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like I'm not gonna forget that you just gestured like you were gonna pull out your gun on us? Like, no. And of course my brother, being my brother, had to be like, oh, well, can you check her tires for her? Because, like, my tire light was on, but at that point I was like, Brayden, like, I don't want this cop anywhere near me right now. Like, you're gonna have him circling my car, probably looking inside every crevice in my car. Like, no, I was so mad at my brother. But, like, I understand that he was trying to help in the situation. He's 15, he's very young. He didn't really understand what he could do. And so I totally get that. But this whole situation could very easily be boiled down to the fact that I was driving suspiciously with a black man in my backseat. And that's just bullshit. That's bullshit. Like, I have my 15-year-old brother in my car, I've got my brother-in-law, my brother-in-law's boyfriend, like, we're all, like, singing Kesha, having a good time, and this cop pulls us over and just ruins it. Like, the entire day from then on out was ruined. The rest of the week was ruined because of this fucking asshole. And I I have the utmost respect for people who go into law enforcement for the right reasons. Like, my own sister is going into law enforcement, and I applaud her. Like, she's this tiny little thing, but I bet she could take a big guy down pretty quickly. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. She's pretty buff. But I absolutely respect people who go into law enforcement for the right reasons. But if you're going into law enforcement just because you know that it's going to give you power over other people, like, that's bullshit. And you need to check yourself and get it together, because that's not the world we're in anymore. You need to wake the fuck up and get your shit together. And like, if that's not something that you wanted to do in the first place, go find something that you do want to do. Go find a different job, because obviously this one does not suit you, sir. Like, oh my gosh, I was so upset. I'm still upset, obviously. Like, I'm still feeling it, and this happened weeks ago. But I don't know, in the wake of all of these riots and protests and everything, I just wanted to put my 2 cents out there. Like, I know that, like, obviously, like I said at the beginning, nobody knows who I am, and I'm okay with that. I have a lot of feelings on this matter, and if anybody sees this video and resonates with anything that I said, I hope that, you know, you put a like down below, maybe subscribe. I'm going to be coming out with more videos. Not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing yet. It may be more rants like this. I may start doing, like, makeup tutorials, because I love doing my makeup, and I think I do a pretty good job, if I do say so myself. But I do have a lot of, like, really strong feelings on topics like this, and so more than likely I will end up going into another rant in the foreseeable future. So if this is something that interests you, and by the way, next time, like, for sure, this camera situation is going to be much better. Like, you can see if I get closer, like, I get more pixelated. Yeah, so, like, I'm, like, I'm just a whole bunch of little pixels, it's fine. But I'm going to be getting a better camera. I'm going to be getting, I'm pretty serious about, like, getting into this, and just, you know, getting my opinion out there and sharing it with people and talking to people about it. Like, if you want to leave a comment down below, I'll probably respond. Like, I'm absolutely willing to hear anybody's side of this and see what you think. But it's just one of those things, like, if you're at a protest and someone asks you, why are you here, and you can't answer that question, you shouldn't be there. Can we just, like, end with that? Alright, well, I hope everybody has a lovely day, and I hope that my rant hasn't, you know, like, destroyed your day or anything like that. Like, that would be... But, these are just my opinions. Like, I don't expect anybody to look at this and be like, oh, yes, that's the gospel truth. Hallelujah. Like, no, that's bullshit. Like, if you agree with anything that I've said, if you disagree with anything I've said, leave a comment. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm right. Like, I want to know. And, yeah. I think I'm going to end it here because I'm awkward. Bye.